Okay, so here's the C4. I put a low car shifter on it. I had to cut the factory shift linkage down because it was hitting my floor pan. When you go to put the valve body in, you have two things in here, which I can't really show you at this point, but my shifter shaft seal was leaking. It's not hard to change. Napa sells the part. Let me get you the part number. I have it right here. It is a 1404. My local Napa had it in stock on the shelf. No big deal. It was like 15 bucks. Easy to do, a lot easier to do with the tranny out. When I put the tranny in last time, I had a problem with my torque converter. It has bolts, 4 bolts, and it also has a drain plug right there, which you might want to line up with your flywheel. There are 2 bolts, or 2 holes 180 degrees off from one another. And if you don't have that plug in line with the flywheel, guess what? Learn stuff every day. So, anyway, you've got to line up your shifter here. There's an arm that sticks off of here, and there's a little detent in that valve body right there. Let me get a better light so you can see. Hang tight. I love this thing. Okay. I am no movie maker by any means, y'all. There we go. Okay, you see that notch? Right. There's a notch right there. That's got to be lined up with your valve body, and if you're using your kickdown, there is another lever down inside, which when you pull the valve body off, it is 1, 2, long bolt right here in your filter, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts. Leave the small ones alone, pull the big ones out. Valve body comes off, easy as pie. Set it aside, do your stuff. You can use a 7/8 wrench to pull the nut off of here, and you can pull the shifter arm assembly out. Your kickdown will be integral to this shaft here, and it comes apart, but you have to be careful. Just loosen this 7/8 nut and take your time. Kind of work this shifter assembly out, and then you can get the kickdown out, and you don't have to disassemble anything else in the transmission. It can all stay the same it is. Which is cool. So take your time. When you go back together, line it up, snug your bolts down. I don't know what the torque is. To me, it's like, you know, inch-pound, so good and tight, good and snug, good to go. Clean this area up, obviously. Here's the meat and potatoes of what I'm getting at. So your transmission pan leak is probably caused by the fact that this is a stamped steel pan. And being that it's stamped steel, it's very, very thin. And it's easy to warp. So, if you look at this pan, and this is a used transmission pan out of a 68 Cougar I got, it's really hard to tell from my camera angle, but if you put a flat straight edge on here, you're going to find, even running your finger over it, that these are elevated. And that's what's causing your leak. This is raised, I can feel it. This is raised, this is raised, this is raised, this is raised. And that comes from over torque. Easy to do. Take a wood block, flip your tranny pan over on the wood block, and flatten it out. When you go to put it back together, don't honk on it. Just tighten it down easy, because it doesn't take a lot to tighten this transmission pan down. If you have a hard time like I do, and you tend to over tighten things, buy a pan that, they make pans that are not stamped steel, but they're cast, and they're thicker, and they have bosses right here where you can tighten the pan down evenly, and you can squeeze the crap out of it if you want to. But that's what's causing your tranny pan leak. So it's either this, it is your shifter shaft seal, or something else. Da, 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 da. Your dipstick tube. Right here, there's an O-ring that goes on the dipstick tube. And if the O-ring is not where it should be, or if it's old, buy one. They're like $3. Napa sells them. Buy one. I did. Because initially my O-ring was leaking, and that's what was causing my leak. I fixed the O-ring leak. I had a tranny pan leak. I thought I fixed the tranny pan leak. It was still seeping. When I put the tranny in, like I said, the torque converter wasn't lined up properly. It was 90 degrees off. So when I put everything in and I tightened my starter down, it was hitting my starter, causing my flex plate to flex and hit in one spot. And I was like, man, what the heck? So being that I had the tranny pan leak and the shifter shaft seal leak, I decided to pull the tranny back out, fix it right, line this torque converter up. My flex plate was fine. My flywheel flex plate was fine. It was straight. I put a straight edge on it. I'm going to put the torque converter back in. I'm going to put the tranny back in. New shaft seal. Fix the pan. Seal it up. Hopefully the old Falcon will be rolling soon. I got those wheels last year. I really like them. That was one tax return. Here's the motor. 289 hypo. Aluminum heads. It looks like crap right now because I have the valve. I had the valve covers off. I tightened my rockers back down. I've got 1:6 ratio rockers on there. I tightened them back down. I had to get tall valve covers to compensate for the additional height of the ARP studs. But anyway, it's 351 heads, 289 flat top pistons. It sounds amazing. I can't wait to unleash it. I ran it on an engine run stand and it runs great. But I pulled it back down just to make sure everything was tight and everything was good, which I'm glad I did because one of the rockers was loosened up. Another piece of advice: if you take the time and the money to build a motor, which the TV makes it look easy and cheap, and they have a team of 15 guys and everything's great. In the real world, when you're a poor white kid like me, take the time to pull the valve covers back off. Get yourself a $200 borescope from Harbor Freight or whatever, and look in your cylinders, check your compression, make sure nothing's leaking, make sure everything's tight. You will thank yourself when you're like me and you find a rocker that was loose, because it will beat itself to death and put all that metal back in your motor, and you will be very upset when your crap blows up. So, just saying. Take the time. eBay aluminum radiator, yeah. Made in China. Made my own battery cables, blah, blah, blah. But that's the gist of it. So this is the 68 Falcon that is almost done. Almost done. I love this schematic. It's pretty cool. ClassicWiring.com. Love it. Color-coded. Everything is laid out. Yeah, so good luck with your C4 leak, and those are a couple things I ran into. I hope that it helps you. You know, I don't have a GoPro. This is my cell phone. Good luck, y'all. Peace out.